Hi, this is Randy from Friday's Golf, and welcome to Hard Boiled, the segment where I sit on an ugly couch and give you my first impression on new golf equipment in the market. Newish. It's still 2019. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at the 2019 C130 cart bag and the 4.5 LS Supercharged Carry bag. For those of you that are new to Hard Boiled, we're going to take a look at both of these bags, the features and benefits. We're going to take them out to the golf course and test them. Then we're going to come back here to the couch and I'm going to give you my final thoughts and conclusions. But before we do that, I want to give you my first glance, like what I thought of these bags as I pull them out of the box. Let me start out by saying that I think both of these bags are very attractive. Sun Mountain over the years has done a great job at designing their bags, whether it be the layout of the pockets, the pattern, the color scheme, whatever you want to call it. When you look at a Sun Mountain bag, it just looks good. So the first thing I noticed when I pulled out the 4.5 LS Supercharged Carry bag, I'm just going to call it the 4.5 LS from now on. But anyway, when I pulled that bag out of the box, the first thing I noticed is it felt cheap. And I know it's supposed to be lightweight design because it's meant to be carried, but the material in which it's made of, it felt like swishy pants that my dad wears. The second thing that I noticed was the thickness of the padding on the carry harness straps. That jumped out at me right away. They were very girthy. The last thing that I saw that I don't particularly like but is very prominent in Sun Mountain carry bags is the stand mechanism at the bottom that actually triggers the legs to go out. I don't like the look of it. At first glance I see that and I'm just like, ugh. Now when I pulled the C130 out of the box, I had almost the inverse feeling. It felt very durable, the material was a little thicker, almost like a canvas. There's not much else about the C130 bag that stands out to me, and that's probably because I've seen C130 bags for such a long time, and from 30 feet they all pretty much look the same. But that's not a bad thing, because the C130 bag is probably one of the most recognizable bags in the market, and the reason being is because it's such a great design. Now that I've talked about how the bags look, let's get into the features and benefits. Now let's start with the 4.5 LS Supercharged bag. It's right there in the name, so let's talk about it. The Supercharged is referring to an external battery or power bank, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, it's a lithium battery, much like the one that you would carry with you to charge your cell phone on while you're playing Pokemon Go or whatever the kids are doing these days. Inside one of the side pockets, you have a little pouch that houses the battery. It clips in there, keeps it secure. There's a cable that drops down from the top of the bag that you can plug into the power bank, and that gives you then an external port to plug your device into. There are 10 pockets on this bag that include a full-length clothing pocket, which I think is huge because in a lot of carry bags now, they're starting to divide that longer pocket up into two separate pockets, which I do not like because I always like to be able to shove my shoes, my rain gear, whatever I wanted to into that big pocket. There's a hydration pouch, which is perforated. It allows your drink to sweat throughout the heat, and then that moisture then runs out the bottom of the bag where there's some ports to kind of get rid of some of that excess moisture. There are multiple accessory pockets throughout this bag. I'm not going to go through each one of them, but places that you can store tees or ball markers or pitch fix tools, whatever it is that's laying around your bag, you have places to organize those. Now there are count them, two velour-lined pockets in this bag where you can put your more valuables, whether it be GPS, cell phone, jewelry, watches, whatever it is that you want to take care of and not get scratched, you can put them in there. One of those pockets is actually waterproof, so anything that's going to be damaged by the elements, store them in there and they will be safe and sound. The bag also features an easy fit dual strap system that is supposedly very comfortable and easy to adjust, both of which I will test today. And last but not least, a matching rain cover. Now, I sold golf bags for almost 13 years, and that is almost the first question you get every single time. Alright, moving on to the C130 bag. This bag features 14 individual club dividers that run the full length of the bag. Please know that anytime a manufacturer states that they have dividers that run the full length of the bag, it's not like they're individually tubed, okay? Basically, you have this hard divider that runs down about a quarter of the way most of the time, and then it turns into some kind of like canvas or nylon material that sometimes they stitch them together, and I looked in this bag and it does seem like each one of those dividers is stitched all the way down. Sometimes they just kind of like crisscross material and the clubs will still peek through there and get tangled up. Doesn't seem to be the case in this one. They do seem to run the full length, but please know that they are not hard dividers. The C130 also has 10 pockets, 2 of which are full length apparel pockets. Just like the 4.5 LS, the C130 has 2 velour-lined pockets to keep your valuables inside of, one of which that is also water resistant. Unlike the 4.5 LS though, the C130 does have a cooler pocket that has that like crazy spaceman material inside of it that keeps it waterproof, so none of your ice or the moisture from your beverages will touch your grips or anything else in your bag. You keep it nice and dry, but there are drainage ports at the bottom there to let any of that ice that melts seep out the bottom of the bag. My absolute favorite feature on the C130 bag are these new smart straps. Now, I say new, but this concept and idea has been around for quite a while. I've even mentioned before that my favorite thing about a golf bag that I've ever owned was on an Ogio. It had this torsion strap that when you put on a golf cart and you latch it in, you take this torsion strap and you'd wrap it around the back cage there, and it would just give you extra security so the bag wouldn't sag or kind of shift during transit. The smart straps, they're going to do the same thing. Alright, now that we've talked about the features and benefits, let's take these bags outside and see how they hold up on the course. So we're out here at Riverbend Golf Course, and the first order of business is, of course, getting the bags out of the trunk. Now, I know this seems like a trivial task, but with as much as golfers load in these things, as far as golf balls, rain gear, and whatever equipment, they get pretty heavy. So having a good handle on the bag makes all the difference in the world in getting it in and out of the trunk. First thing I noticed when getting the stand bag out of the trunk is this top handle is awesome. It's sturdy, well connected, seems very durable, you get a good grip on it. But when you go down to this end, not so much. I actually had to look for the handle. I was expecting something down here, but it's actually just this flap right here. When I pull on it, how much tension it causes on this seam right here, that just seems like a failure point. Yeah, I mean, the bag comes out fine, but once again, I just do not like that handle right there. It's so flimsy and you just don't have a good grip on it. Alright, up next is the cart bag. See, I like this. Got the handle on the side there to kind of pull it forward. Back here. Oh yeah, see? This is more what I'm talking about. Kind of have a plastic molded grip right onto the base of it. Sturdy. I like that. Don't like that. I don't like the fact that your putter's right where you want to grab it. Now, like I said, I realize this is trivial. I'm just thinking ergonomically, when I look into the trunk, I want the handle to be on top here and on top here. I mean, I guess you could use the putter well as a handle. That would work, as long as you don't have like a really big head cover to obstruct that, but it just seems like a missed opportunity to mold a handle just right here. Alright, next step is putting them on the cart. I'm going to start with the stand bag first. I know that a stand bag is typically meant for carrying, but a lot of people like them still, and they put them on carts every now and then, so we'll see how it fits on. Right off the bat, you can see there's not a lot of support here to keep the strap from just kind of compressing the bag in. It's going to start restricting you being able to get these clubs in and out of the bag because of how tightly it has to squeeze it there. But also, there's no relief for this strap to feed through like you see in some of the bags now. So not only is it covering up kind of your valuables pocket, but it's kind of obstructing that charging port, which is your main feature on the Supercharged bag. There's plenty of room for the stand mechanism back here. I wouldn't say that that's ideal. Alright, next I'm going to load the cart bag up. So you have this kind of hook down here. You can lift up this pouch, secure the strap in. Not sure why that's necessary, but it's there, so I thought I'd show it to you. By itself, I mean, it's on there fairly sturdy, but we all know that once we play, these bags start to sag and twist, and they can turn all over the place. Sun Mountain has come up with a way to combat this with these smart straps. So I found out after I did it the first time that it's a lot easier to hook this bag up when it is detached from the cart. You pull these out, you feed them under the rack or tray, whatever is in the back of the cart. Hold them tight. Do the same with this side. And then come back through with the strap. You're locked in. In true fried eggs fashion, we're not just gonna say, "Hey, look at how sturdy this is." I'm gonna undo this strap here. We're gonna go drive recklessly throughout the golf course and see if we can't ditch this bag. I don't know how well these straps are going to hold, but we're going to test it out. Alright, we're going to conclude the test there because this happened. Clearly, traditional strap, driving like a madman, don't work so well. This, secure as ever. Didn't even have this strap, so way to go, Sun Mountain. Note to self, next time I do a test like this, put my real clubs in this bag. Now before I conclude the on-course test with the walking portion, I did want to show you real quickly as I took this cart bag off. I thought this was going to be a pain in the butt, but you just simply unstrap them and give it a pull. Comes out just like that. Still needs a handle right there though. So for this last hour of sunlight, I'm going to play as many holes as I possibly can, give you guys an idea how the bag feels, the comfort, functionality, basically anything I can think of, and I'll let you know what I come up with back on the ugly couch. Alright, we're back on the ugly couch. I'm going to give you my final thoughts and conclusion when it comes to the 4.5 LS Supercharged bag and the C130. When it came to the 4.5 LS, now let's not make a mountain out of a molehill here. You're just getting a golf bag out of the trunk. I'm obviously nitpicking. I love that top handle. I absolutely despise that bottom handle. And I'm not saying that it's made poorly. That's just the matter of fact. It's inevitable. Stitching fails, and especially when you start to load this thing up with golf balls, you get a lot of weight in there. That action, whether it be picking it up, put it in a trunk, put it on the back of a cart, whatever it may be, eventually that stitching is going to tear. Now the C130, as I stated in the video, has the exact opposite problem. It has an excellent handle to grab at the bottom of the bag, but up top you're kind of always manipulating that putter well to trying to find a place to grab it. Once again, it's not that big of a deal, but just put a nice handle right there and you solve the problem. Since I mentioned durability, I do want to talk about the 4.5 LS and the material that it's made out of. I had said earlier that it was like swishy pants material, and how there is kind of like a molded structure on the outside of it to give it some kind of strength and durability, but I still see that being the vulnerable point in this bag, and it's unfortunate because it really is such a great looking bag, and I think by just a little bit, just increase the thickness of that material a little bit, you could give it a couple more years, you could make it last, and I don't think you would sacrifice that much weight. Now on the flip side of that, the C130, when you kind of feel the material between that bag and the 4.5 LS, it's kind of night and day. It's much thicker, it's much more durable, it does not feel like in any way, shape, or form that that's going to be the failure point in this bag. I really don't know where C130s fail because I've never really had a lot of issues with them. I know that a lot of times those individual dividers that go all the way down, since I said that they're kind of like stitched together as opposed to being like structural tubes, those will tend to tear, and then clubs kind of get jammed up, and then people are kind of like, I need a new bag. All right, on to the Smart Strap test where I put both bags on the back of the cart. Now obviously I didn't give the carry bag much of a chance because, one, carry bags don't fit that well on the back of carts anyway. I didn't have any issues with the Sun Mountain with that external stand getting in the way. It fit nicely on the back of the cart. But having said that, after I hit a couple bumps with it, you can see how it very easily shifts, falls off. I question why they didn't incorporate some kind of strap system into the carry bag because, you know, I have primarily a carry bag, but I still ride a cart quite often, and I really do miss that feature to be able to kind of strap that to the back of the cart and keep it on there. Now, the way in which the Smart Straps worked on the C130 bag, it was picture perfect. Didn't even have to latch it in, and it stayed more rigid and more secure to the cart than actually using the strap itself. Before I move away from the C130 bag and kind of give you the carry information on the 4.5 LS, there is an issue a lot of times with oversized grips. Like anytime you get into like larger than mid-size, they can have some issues going in and out of those dividers. Now, I think they're plenty big to get oversized grips into, but it's going to take a little bit of manipulation to work them down into the bag. They could have shrunk the putter well by half, and still you could have put like a Super Stroke down in there. But for whatever reason, maybe it's because it doubles as a handle, they left you a little bit more room with that. It's just such a great golf bag, and I think that that's kind of a testament to why it's been such a success over the years, because there's really not a lot of things that I would change about it. Lastly, I want to talk about the carryability of... Carryability? Is that a word? Carryability of the 4.5 LS Supercharged. Now, since it says Supercharged in the name, before I get to the carry aspect, I do at least want to mention in my final thoughts and conclusion about that external battery. There's really not a lot to report there. It works just like any external charger that you've ever had, but I do like the idea of being able to plug that into the bag externally, like when you're walking. You can kind of have your phone in your pocket, or you can have it in an accessory pouch there, and it can be charging the whole time. Or if you're running a GPS that's clipped to the side of your bag, you have it plugged in, you have it charging. I know a lot of GPSs, they actually won't work while they're charging, so maybe that's null and void. Now, to me, I'm more like, why wouldn't you give me like a claw or something that I can click my phone or my GPS into that is actually molded into the bag, so I don't have to buy like an accessory or anything. So if you're giving me something that I can charge, now give me a place to set that device that I'm charging, so I don't have to sit there and keep unzipping pockets, putting it in, taking it out. Give me a place outside that's like, look, this is the Supercharged bag, this is where you put your device while it's charging. Now, when it comes to the Easy Fit dual strap system, I have to say that I absolutely hated this thing. I love the pads on the top, the back. It was very comfortable to carry once I got it figured out, but it took forever to adjust. And the reason is because if you see a lot of carry bags out there, on the back, it's just basically straps that cross each other. And then while you adjust the bag, those straps just move independently. That's not the case with this, because they actually have a molded pad that sits in the middle of your back. If you tighten the strap up here or down here, it'll like twist, or it'll move, or it'll readjust itself in the middle of your back. I understand that there's probably some engineer that designed this is probably like, Randy, it's really easy. If you do this, then you do this, and then bam, it's done. Well, that's fine, but no one wants to take a class on how to adjust the carry bag to make it fit on your back. Now, I know I'm dogging on this bag, but I do have some nice things to say about it. It was lightweight. Once I got the straps kind of where I wanted them, it was super comfortable to carry. Something at the beginning of the review that I said I didn't like was that external pad that kind of pushes the legs out. Even though I don't like the way it looks, it works flawlessly. I like the fact that on the bottom of the legs, you kind of have these pads that work like camel's feet on the sand, where if you're in wet conditions or even sandy conditions, it gives you more surface area so those rods don't sink into the ground. But that pretty much wraps up this episode of Hard Boiled. If you have any questions about these bags, please throw them down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer them, but please know that both of these bags come with rain covers. Thanks as always for watching. Please thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I will see you later. Feels much better.